You're watching Stick It to the Stigma with me, Lindsay from Neo Walk. In each episode, we'll chat all things disability, positivity, and a few funny things that have happened along the way. So today, I'm talking to the lovely Jenny Pettican, YouTuber, campaigner, and part-time princess. So tell me a bit about the condition that you have.
So I've got Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, hypermobile type, hypermobile Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. So it basically means that my joints are really unstable, but I also have postural orthostatic tachycardia syndrome as part of that. And that messes with my blood pressure and my heart rate. So I can get really dizzy and breathless. And that obviously has an effect on my walking just as much as my joint issues do.
So the first question is, how do you live as a disabled person? We have to do it slightly differently, don't we?
Yeah, I'd like to say as best I can, I guess.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a really hard question to actually comprehend, because I guess you can't do it any differently to how you do it. Like, it is just life.
But we end up doing it. When I became disabled, people told me that you won't be able to do things. That really pissed me off. I didn't like that. And what I discovered...
Well, you do more things than anyone else.
I discovered very early on was I can do everything. I just do it a bit different. I think for me, just living as a disabled person, I live just like you and just like you and just like you, but I just do it a bit different.
Yeah.
We use mobility aids. Have you got a gaggle of things for the different aids for different days?
Yeah, completely. But I think as well with my life, like, because with my conditions, it's so much about managing my energy that I have to remember that I can't actually do it all.
Yeah.
But also that that's okay.
Yeah.
I don't have to do it all. I think that's important too.
Some days just being awake and being part of the world is an achievement, isn't it?
Exactly.
Yeah, I have days like that. I have sofa days. Do you manage to walk most of the day, or?
Yeah, it can completely depend on the day. And the symptoms that I get. Like, I think my condition is so utterly variable that, like, right now I've got a shoulder slightly out of place, but obviously if that's a hip or if that's a knee, then my ability to get around is much more limited than it is with my shoulder.
Do you think that's something that able-bodied people can comprehend, that you can see a person walking one day, but then you actually see them with a stick the next day, and maybe another day you'll see them in a wheelchair?
Yeah, I think obviously the people that see me more often, and especially when I was at uni, people completely started to understand that. Especially if I've got problems with both my shoulders, I really struggle to use a stick or my walker. So I might be walking and people without anything, and people instantly assume I'm in less pain. But that's not actually the situation.
Yeah.
Unless you're living in that body, you can't understand that they're doing better, even though they're doing worse, even though they've got less.
Yeah.
And
I suppose a pain to someone could be agony to somebody else, and vice versa. So have you ever had someone come after you down the street or shout at you, "Why are you using that walking stick?"
Like, in terms of public like reactions to things, and I guess because I like to make my mobility aids my own, it kind of takes away from that a bit. And like, especially when I go out on a night out and I'm using my Neo Walk stick, everyone's just too obsessed with how pretty it is to be bothered to ask me the questions about that they usually would. At uni, occasionally, like, I might go in with my walker and leave it in the hall and walk around the studio with my stick, and then I'll be sat down and someone will see my walker and be like, "Whose is that?"
Yeah, exactly.
And I'll be like, "It's mine." And they're like, "What?" Yeah, that's something that people don't understand. But luckily I had a lot of great friends that just jumped on it like, "What a rude question." I think because I kind of like to be so, well, I don't know if I like to be so open. I've just got to a point where I am so open about it.
Yeah.
That I don't mind so much. And if people want to know more, I'll just be like, go to my YouTube channel. There's a video all about it if you want to know more. I'm not going to sit here and explain it to you.
It's funny, in supermarkets I find it quite funny, and if I'm out, you get parents who are with their children and their kids are fascinated by the leg, they want, because when I wear my leg, I wear it out, it's on bare bone, and the kids are just fascinated with it, and they look and they point. Usually the first question kids want to know is, does it hurt?
Uh-huh.
I can say, no, it doesn't hurt, not at all. And that it's just a relief for them. And then they feel that they can ask other things, how does it work? Is it heavy? Is it this? Is it that? Well, I always
Wow, that's really interesting. Yeah.
I've had that quite a few times. When you're dressed up and you're all looking gorgeous, which I know you do because you post me pictures all the time of you looking gorgeous. How do you manage on days when you're feeling less than your best? What do you do?
Something that's actually become really therapeutic for me is actually putting on some makeup.
Yeah.
Because it's become like a mindfulness activity of paying such close attention to it that I'm not thinking about other things. And during this crazy time at the minute, it's actually got me out of bed on days that I probably wouldn't have done. But yeah, I think I've come to the point where I know not every day is a good day. And that's why I try on my Instagram and on my YouTube, I don't just post the good days, because then people get into their head that's how life is. And it's not. I'll post pictures with no makeup on and looking terrible when I feel terrible. And I think I get so many messages from people saying, thank you for helping me not feel so alone. And I think that's what's important, because there's so many influencers I love and influencers with disabilities that just post great shots. With the whole of Instagram, it's a little bit unrealistic sometimes. And I want to put a little bit of real back into it. Everyone has bad days.
I had a bad one yesterday. I had a wig on. It can be quite lonely. I love the way people have likened the lockdown living to the way disabled people live all the time.
Yeah.
There is a real truth in that, isn't there?
There was something I said on Instagram the other day, and it was funny comparing life with a chronic illness to this period of uncertainty. Because every day for me is uncertain. I can plan stuff and it'll go out the window on a regular basis. I'm used to being disappointed, is what I've learned.
The first time I made a walking stick, it was because I wanted one. Because when I first started using them, I was absolutely gutted that there was no choice, that everything was it was like hospital looking grey mechanic, it just had no style or thought. And it was really upsetting, and because nobody had thought that design or that our disabled community needed something designing. And I found it upsetting, and it just annoyed me enough to say, right, I'm going to make one. That's exactly what I did. I made a stick. I got a rod. I ordered it online, shoved it in the oven, just opened the oven door literally and shoved it in until the top bit went kind of moldable, and then I molded it. I think I did it round a wine bottle, and I made a stick. And when I started going out with it, exactly what you said, people started saying to me, "Love your stick. Where'd you get that?" There was some people, even with a prosthetic leg on, some people used to say, "Why are you using it?" Because they really weren't interested. They were just looking at this stick. And you find that happens with you?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Because I'd never wanted something boring, and I'd always tried to get something that was a little bit different. My first ever stick was it just had spots on. And then when I got my walker, I got off a guy on Facebook. An old guy for £10, and it was this most rickety, ugliest thing ever. So I covered it in zebra tape, and then over Christmas I'd put tinsel on it and put lights on it.
Fantastic.
And then when I was getting a bit down about using the walker so much, when I went back to uni, I covered the seat in stickers of all my favourite things, so that when I'm walking with it, I'm always looking at my favourite things, so I don't feel like it's a step back. And then I found you, and got my beautiful bubbles, and it just was the best, because that was the first time where people were like, oh my god, look at that beautiful stick.
However, I remember you had been nominated for a National Diversity Award.
I had indeed.
You had a posh frock.
I did.
So possibly people were oohing and wowing at the frock as well, because I remember the frock.
Yeah, they were, but the stick was first. And I think because we were in such a beautiful venue, it was in Liverpool Cathedral, with such beautiful lighting and things, and the bubbles in the stick just caught all the lights where they had them on the floor, and it just looked so cool. I was just like, oh my goodness.
And you nominated me for one.
I did. A very well deserved nomination.
Which I'm very excited about, but I do know that I've had some absolutely beautiful like testaments and recommendations on the votes that I've had.
It's so lovely reading them, isn't it?
Brought me to tears, some of them, and they really have. I just think we're a very forgotten about part of the community, aren't we? We touched on there, you and your career as a princess.
Yes.
Which I love.
I miss it so much.
When did you first realise you wanted to be a princess?
It was never something I thought about. I went to uni, I trained in drama, and the thing is, so I did my first year at uni when I was kind of well, and I was only just starting to have problems, and I don't think I ever thought I'd really be an actress, but that was more my thing. I always actually wanted to be a drama teacher, which funnily enough is something that I now do.
Okay.
But then I had 2 years out in the middle. I had a lot of surgery, came back and couldn't do all the things that I used to be able to do really easily. When I finally left, I just needed a job. And this company that I work for, I followed for a little while. A couple of my friends worked for them over the years.
Yes.
And they were just looking for people to cover panto season, because we were all trained actresses, so people were off doing panto. And there was just like, can you drive? Yeah. Can you sing? Sort of. Can you act? Yeah. Do you want to be a princess? Yeah, okay, I'll give it a go.
Wow, I mean, it is just the thing of dreams. But you're so realistic as well, I have to say, with your costume and your hair and your makeup. Your makeup is a big thing as well with that, isn't it?
Yeah.
You are just a dead ringer for each princess. But which one is your favourite?
When I was a kid, my favourites were always Ariel and Belle. I think my favourites to be, because they're a bit more like me. I'm not very good at the regal princesses. I'm a bit too clumsy. So I think Rapunzel and Anna are the two at my speed.
If I was a princess, which one would I be?
You're like my real life fairy godmother.
Because then
you help me go to the ball.
But what's really going on inside your head? Let's find out. Quick fire questions today are: cat or dog?
Dog.
Pizza or ice cream?
Pizza.
Red wine or white wine?
Neither.
Describe yourself as a teenager in 3 words.
Bossy, annoying, fringe.
Fringe. Dark chocolate or milk chocolate?
Dark.
If you could have 3 people to dinner, dead or alive, who would they be?
Freddie Mercury, Ellen DeGeneres, Anton Deck. I think they count as one person.
Yeah, they probably wouldn't come if they couldn't come together. If you had a superpower, what would it be?
Invisibility.
Coffee or tea?
Neither.
What is the one thing that annoys you the most?
People being loud in other rooms when I'm trying to sleep.
What is your least favourite type of music?
Like either very, 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 very classical or very, 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 very heavy metal.
If you had access to a time machine, where and when would you go?
I'd like to say the future, but I don't know if I actually would.
What's your favourite colour?
Purple.
Would you rather work 8 hours standing up or 10 hours sitting down?
Neither. Can I say neither?
Right. Kiss, marry, kill. Gordon Ramsay, Jamie Oliver, James Martin.
Kill Jamie Oliver. Marry Gordon Snog James.
Trump, Johnson, Putin.
What? Marry Boris. Kill probably Trump. I'll kiss Putin. I'll take one from the team.
Prince Harry, Prince William, Prince Charles.
I'll avoid Prince Charles. Probably kiss Harry, marry William.
Ross, Joey or Chandler?
Marry Chandler, 100%. Kiss Joey, kill Ross.
Mark Wahlberg, Tom Cruise, Adam Sandler.
I'll avoid Adam Sandler. I'll marry Tom Cruise and I'll snog Mark Wahlberg.
Bruce Willis, Leonardo DiCaprio, Robert De Niro.
I marry Leo. Avoid Bruce Willis, snog De Niro.
Our parting segment, because I am from Yorkshire, give me your best version of that.
Didn't go out, set for a bussy or whip it for a shite.